Hello. Can't remember how to mute. Hello. There we go. Can't remember how to mute. There we go. Well, I'm just gonna wait for YouTube to do its thing. No, you want to YouTube. No, you want to. Yay! Hey, hey. Hi, hi, Billy. There will be a little bit of a delay just because I'm streaming through Zoom. Good, beautiful day. How are you? Is everybody well? I want to talk about some things today. So if you're in a mood where like you don't want to be triggered, probably wait till you're in a mood where you're okay to be triggered. I'm always an early birdie. I have clients today, but I just felt this was really pressing. So let me just speak first of all about the energies I feel have been coming in. Um, Last week, some point, who knows what day, the Mar, I felt this kind of poultice energy, which was like pooling. So a poultice is where there's like an infection or something in the body that needs to come out. Okay, and a poultice is placed on to help draw whatever that is out. And I feel that whether it's subconscious, whether it's conscious, whatever it might be, there's been this energy of pulling stuff out. So whether it's been illness, whether it's been arguments, whether it's been I don't know, mind chatter, whatever has been going on. I feel there's been this energy of like pulling it out because it doesn't belong there. And when we have things within our existence, we can create more of it. So there's been a perfect opportunity for it to come out and then to make change. Anybody else felt that? Anybody else felt anything kind of coming up and out to the surface? Just me? Um, do me a favor. There's 3 people in just now. Can you like the video just to see if it kicks in the algorithm a bit better? I would like more people to hear what I've got to say. So I want to talk about spirituality. Uh, and human avoidance. You're seeing it, Billy, seeing it in the family. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a delay here. So I want to talk about spirituality. Show me there's only one person watching now, but I've got 2 people in my chat, which is interesting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna say what I've got to say, and it'll get to where it gets to, and what does it even matter? So in the tub the other day, I was looking at the word spiritual for whatever reason. And it broke down in my head to spirit all. Okay. Spirit all. And what that meant for me was that when I stepped into spirituality, spirit becoming all the reality, spirit, all, reality, I lost contact with my human, pretty much. And it was Lorna. Hello, beautiful. Thank you for being here, darling. And I wouldn't, if you'd said that to me at the time, I would have, I wouldn't have taken it. I would have taken it as a judgment. And how dare you? How dare you? How dare you judge me? How dare you? But what I'm increasingly becoming aware of, and I'd watched a video at the weekend, and I'm not going to share it because it does hold a lot of kind of fear programming in it. But as with everything that comes up within my reality, there's always a reason for it, right? So, and listen, you don't have to believe anything that I say. Don't question everything always. Okay, question everything always. So I'm looking at this spirit, spiritual. So spirit all, don't even know if you can see that through back to front. And then it's also not in a great color, is it? Not in a great color. Hold on. And spirit duality. Spirit you reality. Now, oh, can't spell. Diagrams, actually just words today. How you cheeky? Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at, and I don't know if you can see this or not because there's a delay in my screen, but we're looking at the word spiritual, spirit you all, and spirit duality. See it? So spirit you all, spirit you reality. Okay, and this is what I've been shown, and this is why spirituality in a whole is breaking down, because of the programmings within spirituality. So when I look back on my spiritual awakening, I realized that I was in massive human avoidance. Okay, now I'm not saying it was bad, it was wrong, it's all perfect, everything is exactly as it's meant to be. But I went and kind of bypassed my human. They talk about spiritual bypassing. Spirituality really is about human bypassing. Tell me different in the comments. Like, seriously, come for me. Like, question me. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's open up a bit of debate here. Okay. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm just opening up a conversation. So I became aware of this spiritual world, this different reality to mine, and I started living there. Okay. And I became almost inaccessible to those around me. I became inaccessible because I was in a higher plane of existence. Okay. And there's a certain amount of ego that comes with that. I was better than this. This is where the spiritual ego comes from, is that I know better than you. I'm aware of this different plane of existence, which means that I'm better than, more than, all that type. So, and if you've been here for a while, you'll know that spirituality has been breaking down for me for a couple of years now. I don't call myself spiritual. I don't like the word spirituality, and it's taken 2 years to understand why. This is why. Because I was bypassing my human experience. Now, let me just make a few things clear here. I am so aware of all these different realms that surround us. Can we have access to the past? Yes. Can we have access to the future? Yes, but there's so many billion different possibilities. How would you even know? And we have to be very, very careful when we're accessing future, because with every choice we make, that can change. And we have to be careful about the level of influence. Hi, Heidi. Lovely to see you, darling. We're breaking down spirituality, breaking it down with a sledgehammer, Heidi. But I'm aware of all these different realms. Is there a dragon realm? Absolutely. Is there a fairy realm? Absolutely. Is it the past, the present? Can we have access to all these different versions of self? Yes, yes, we can. Is there a ghost realm and an evil realm? Of course, it all exists, but it all exists here now in this one space. Like anybody can have access to any of that. And what I believe happens within spirituality, correct me if I'm wrong, it's okay. You can come for me. Okay. Please, please do. I'm good with it. Okay. Just opening up conversation. What happens is, from my perspective and what I've seen, is that when we get sick of humaning, it's too hard. Life's been too hard. We've had too many people hurt us. Everybody around us doesn't understand us. All the trauma, everything that comes with it. So much easier to not face that and bypass it and go off and meditate and live in all these different realities. How do I know I did it? Was it wrong? No, but it's not right now. And I started talking about been over 2 years ago now, becoming the conscious human. And there was a 13-month course that I did. Some people here joined part of that. And the journey was to become the conscious human. What do I mean by that? I mean that I had to come out of the spirituality, which this had become my whole reality. I'd forgot how to function as a human being. And honestly, I'm still kind of finding my legs there, because I detached myself so much from the people, everyday people round about me, because they weren't like me. They were different. They thought different. They had different opinions. They weren't my people. Well, they are. The amount of division within this world is phenomenal. And I don't want to be divided anymore. I don't want to live there. And for me to not live in a divided society, I have to be the change that I want to see in the world. But it means me becoming a better human. Okay. Does it matter if I am Isis or a dragon or a high priestess in Egypt, or could I have been all these things? Yes. Does it matter in my human experience right now? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter one iota. I came here to be human. If I have awareness of all these other pieces of me, I've already been that. I might be still experiencing it somewhere. And it exists, but my consciousness is here now. My consciousness isn't with my dragon. My consciousness isn't with my high priestess. My consciousness isn't with my old past lives. My consciousness is here now as this human being in this experience. And it's so important. This lifetime that I'm leading right now, I know is the most important lifetime that I've ever led. And I get this right. And I become the conscious human. What does that mean? It means I'm conscious of, I'm aware of everything. I'm aware of everything. Hey, Janine. Do you know what, Janine? Thanks for saying that, sweetheart. Because sometimes these things are hard to admit, you know, and it isn't wrong. It's just not right now. Does that make sense? Nah, no one is ever wrong. We each have different beliefs and perceptions, I think, anyway. Yeah, but it is wrong for me now, Emma, is what I'm trying to say. And listen, if people still want to live there, they can. I'm not. That's all choice. But what if there's a different way? What if there's a way of living our lives having awareness of all these realms, of all these things, but being the conscious human? Because if I want to meet good people in my life, if I want to be part of humanity that is understanding and caring and all the things, I have to be that. I have to be that. Emma says it's wrong for me now to be human and have all the magic too. That's it. You can have it all, but you have to be human. And you have to face the stuff. You have to face the stuff. You have to face it all. And this video that I watched at the weekend brought in a concept, 2 words that I'm going to be talking about a lot from here on in, I believe. And it's mind prisons. Okay. And it's how mind prisons are how we're creating our reality. Janine, you're finding yourself again to be a better human in the world. Me too. Nice to meet you, Janine. Thank you for being that and doing that, because that's where I am. And I realize spirituality is a mind prison. Okay. It's this big bubbling pot. And this is just me. You don't have to take what you want. It's just my perspective. It's this bubbling pot of other people's beliefs, other people's experiences, all thrown into one. Take 3D to 5D, for example. The whole concept of 3D to 5D. Who initially brought up that concept? And people jumped in the bandwagon, because that resonates with me, right? It resonates. This is a word that's used a lot. Does it? Is it just a mind prison? Is it a mind prison? And it's why a lot of people that they come out of spirituality and they find Jesus or God or maybe not at all, none of those things. They call it New Age. And I've always wanted to understand this, and I think I do now. It's because a lot of the principles within spirituality were brought in round about the same time with what was called a New Age movement. And this is the 3D to 5D. But when people were in spirituality, they weren't calling it the New Age, but it's like when they leave, they're like, oh, it's the New Age, like rubbish, right? It's all the same thing. And that's kind of like when people do that, and if you've done that, that's okay. But when people do that, it's like, I'm not going to have any responsibility for that. I'm washing my hands. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault I believed that, and it wasn't my fault I acted how I acted, and that's not cool either. And that's, in my opinion, going from one mind prison to another. I still hold the belief that there are many, 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 many realities. I mean, too many to count, but to simplify it, 2 realities, okay, happening at the same time. There is a world of people in their mind prisons. Okay. They call it prison planet. This planet isn't a prison. You can do whatever you want here. You create it. Your mind is a prison. What your thoughts, what you believe. And a lot of beliefs can keep you within this prison. When I stepped into spirituality, I got lost. I got lost there, you know. I got so lost there because it was a much easier place to be. I found it very easy to be, and I love my dragons. I'll always love dragons, but rubbing shoulders with dragons, having conversations with dragons, um, you know, battling demons, clearing entities, all that stuff. Like it gave me purpose. And it was beautiful at the time. But so many people couldn't relate to me in my life because my whole language changed. I started speaking a different language. I started speaking a different vocabulary, and people didn't understand it. I was using words like, manifestation, um, all the spiritual words, all the spiritual words. And people were kind of like, who are you? Like, where did you put Joanne? Where is she? It must be very hard for people round about when you start speaking a different language and they can't relate to you anymore. And I lost a lot of people, and that was all perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Okay. The people I have in my life now are beautiful and perfect. All is as it should be. But I'm seeing online, and there's nothing wrong with this, and I'm not slating them. But there's this, certain channelers, for example, that are now looking very much like a Nocturian, for example. Do they look quite alien? Yeah, they do. Why do they? What happened within their human life that they didn't want to live it anymore? And they wanted to look like an Nocturian and speak like an Nocturian and bring messages. There's nothing wrong with it. Go for it. It's perfect for them. But I would love to have the conversation that says, why don't you want to be human? Why do you want to be something that they probably are in another reality? But what's wrong with your human? What's wrong with how you look as a human being? Why are you more comfortable being Octurian than you are human? For example, it's an example. Uh, Janine, finding myself again to be a better human in the world. We bring it down into our human. Yeah. Emma, I spent too long in my spiritual head too in the past, didn't want to deal with my human issues. Absolutely. Heidi, it creates spiritual hierarchy. We are all the same in our humanness. Now, Heidi, what a beautiful comment that is. The we are one, the unity. We are all human. We deal with different issues, but we're all here navigating, being human. And I don't know anybody who's found that easy. Anybody here found it easy? Janine, learning to combine it all, being me. This is it. So I changed the name of my channel to Joanne Dunn, I Am Me. Because I am just me. It's probably going to change again. I'm not feeling it. But I am just me. And this is the thing. I change and I change and I change and I change and I change because I'm meant to, I'm meant to. Emma, when I found spirituality, I swapped one prison for another. Listen, preach, sister. It didn't feel that way at the time. I felt like I'd expanded. I felt like I was, it didn't feel like that at the time, but looking back, yeah, Janine needed to hear this. So glad you're speaking it. Thank you, Janine. I really just felt like I had to come in and say this morning. So maybe even if it just helps one person, like, that is what it's all about. Mark, hello, sir. How are you today? We are here to Bellman with the knowledge. Love to you, Gisela. So, I'm learning about this sounds so stupid. I knew nothing about my body. I don't know anything about the systems in my body. I didn't know about my nervous system. I didn't know about my lymphatic system. I didn't know about any of these, like, physical stuff. I'm learning. It's beautiful. I'm loving my body. But when I lived in this spirituality, when I became all spirit, I kind of forgot about the body. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to take responsibility for my body. I didn't want to take responsibility for my thoughts. As a human being, I have to take responsibility for it all. Ooh. Bio Vicky, hello, darling. Giselle, not easy, but I love being human and all that is. It's a wild journey. Oh, you were Dolly Daydream. I remember. I remember. Isn't it interesting how, because so many people came to this channel in 2020. Anybody here that didn't come here in 2020? It hasn't grown since. And I find that really interesting. Um, I'm doing things differently. I'm working differently, and I'm learning, I'm learning how to support people within their human now. Because relearning about you again, that's it. Like, who are you? Gonna ask you all, put in the chat, who are you? Who is Janine? Who is Vicky? Who is Mark? Who is Emma? Who is Gisela? Who is Heidi? Loyal followers. Oh, please never follow me, Mark. I'll just get you in trouble. You can like walk beside me. Definitely don't follow. Um, Heidi was only thinking this morning how my galactic dragon stayed out there, and is it escaping the daily chore? Yeah, Heidi, you were here since 2020. Yeah. And what journey we've been on. I wouldn't change a thing. Still speak to dragons. I still know there's fairies. I still love to go into nature. But I do it now as a human being. Heidi, you're a mum, a grandma, and an artist. Are these labels, Heidi? Are they labels that you put in yourself, or labels that somebody else put on you? It's an interesting conversation. No, Mark, never. Giselle, you found you've changed so much in the last year. It's all new. And isn't it exciting? Isn't it exciting? Janine, from Mark Air videos. Ah. Yeah, it was beautiful how we all found each other at that time. I'm so grateful for it. You're a work in progress with no limitations. Oh, Gisela, I love it. I love that. I was speaking to our Emma the other day about this, about who am I? Who is Joanne? And I'm everything and nothing, and everything in between. I'm black, I'm white, I'm gray, I'm the rainbow, I'm all. But to know myself. I know that I am generous. I know that I am loving. I know that I'm kind. I know that I am a bitch and do not mess with me. I know that I can be the absolute light of your life, but you know, I can also be your worst nightmare, depending on how you show up for me. I am um I am grateful. I am I am whole. I am worthy. And these are things that I really know and believe about myself. I'm learning all the time. I'm changing. Lorna, I am a spirit in a human body having a human experience, and you're currently called Lorna. Janine, we change, its growth. Mark says Joanna's perfect as she is. Thank you, sir. Emma, you laughing at that? She takes piss out more of the time. Mark, what's that all about? Gisela, we have to be willing to get lost sometimes because so much of us is found in the darkness and forgotten. Beautiful. Mark is a Scorpio dragon. Beautiful. I'm on this path of remembering who I am to become this conscious human. And all the labels have been stuck on me, for example, the mum, the grandma, all these labels are they mind prisons? Do we have, okay, I'm going to ask a little question. You'll have to answer. Do you have a separation between thoughts and your internal dialogue? There's a little bit of a delay here. So I'm just going to wait. Do you have thoughts and an internal dialogue? Is it different? Is it the same thing? Are you aware? Are you even aware? No right or wrong answer. I'm just curious. Curiouser and curiouser. I'll wait. Emma says, yes, I had separation in the past, not now, though. Interesting. It's an interesting conversation. I'll tell you why. Before my awakening, I wasn't even aware of my thoughts. Okay. I wasn't aware how much thoughts I had running through my head all the time. It was constant. They would probably call it ADHD now or some ism. I think it's just a human thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it gets out of control and then we learn to control it, or we can choose to learn to control it. Okay. So I would be like, very difficult for me now because I don't have this, but at the time it would be like, oh, right, okay. So I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And then I'd be like, oh, and then I'm going to have that for lunch. And then from there, I'd be like, oh, and then I have to pick my son up at this time. And then I would maybe have like 10 thoughts even happening at the same time. And it was constant. There was no quiet. My brain was just, we call it the brain, whatever it is, was just this constant like oh, what think about, oh, what did they say? Oh, can you imagine? Remember when you said that? Oh, all this like imagine like a room full of people all talking at the same time. That was the thoughts in my head. So how could I possibly distinguish between any of them? Right? And if that's the case, and we create our reality, what was I creating? I was creating noise, I was creating distraction, I was creating chaos, I was creating all the stuff that was going on in my mind without even knowing it was going on in my mind. What does that mean? It means I have no control over my life. It means that the thoughts have control over my life of what they're creating. Okay, so if I'm worrying about money, I'm creating money worries. If I'm worrying about friendship things, I'm creating friendship things. If I'm worrying about relationship problems, I'm creating relationship problems. And maybe I'm thinking about all these things at the same time. And so I'm creating it all. And I'm not even aware. And this is why we call it, or me Julie, welcome. Waking up. We become conscious, we become aware. Consciousness is awareness to me. That's what it means to me. Okay. So we become aware. I became aware of my thoughts in my head, and I was like, whoa, it's so noisy. What do I do with that? So meditation helped. Becoming aware of the thoughts, what they were, trying to break them down, why I was thinking them, where they came from, were they true. Process, years and years and years. Now I know when I have a thought in my head, and it'll be just one, and I'll know whether it's a positive thought or whether it's a negative thought. But I'm aware of them. But I also have an inner dialogue. I have my voice that resides within me, that is separate from a thought process. Can anybody relate to that before I go any further? Uh, so Gisela says, yes, I have an internal dialogue. Uh, Lorna, I think thoughts can be from a field of energy, not necessarily yours. Inner dialogue comes from tuning into your soul. Beautifully put. Mark the look. Choo choo! All aboard the locomotive thought brain. Emma, my brain thoughts were always negative, looping little poops. Gisela, I argue with myself all the time. Do you know, actually, interestingly enough, my husband told me this recently, that there was a study done and they took people from all different walks of life, okay, all different colors, all different religions, all different skin colors, all different parts of the world, from every walk of life you can think of, young, old, da, da, da. And they wanted to work out why some people live longer than others, right? This is fascinating. I hope this is true. Trusting him because he told me. I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I haven't licked it, so you can take this or leave this. Do whatever you want with it. And they had one thing in common: the people that lived. I don't know if they lived longer though, because they've not died. See, I question everything. So I don't know if this is even true now, because what he said was that they all talked to themselves, right? They all talked out loud to themselves. Who here talks out loud to themselves? Hi, Kim, darling. How are you? It has been a long time, sweetheart. Anyway, there's something about people who talk to themselves out loud are happier and live longer, apparently. Okay. And I have this, that to me is my internal dialogue. Okay. I have an internal dialogue. Hey, Leanne. And there's a difference to me in my awareness of thoughts that come into my head than my internal dialogue, which is the conversation I have with self. that comes from me. And the thoughts are a mind prison. And they can create our reality. The internal dialogue, the inner voice, higher self, intuition, label it what you will, is everything that we are. And if I listen to this inner dialogue, if I use myself to navigate my ship, if I use myself to navigate and not the thoughts in my head, life is easy. It's easy. The thoughts are what make it complicated. It's a sign of intelligence. Very good. I'm not going to argue with that. I wouldn't be intelligent to argue with that, would I? I'm really well. Thank you for asking, Kim. I'm awesome. So, where do our thoughts come in when it comes to this spirituality and the bypass in the human being? You know, were there thoughts that are programs run by belief systems or experiences of other people that aren't ours? You did, Mark? Could it have been a phoenix dragon, Mark? Did it look quite bird-like? So Emma's saying, what if the thoughts are now in sync with consciousness? That isn't my experience, but it doesn't mean to say that it's not real, you know. No, wasn't bird-like. Beautiful golden fire dragon. I love that. Fire dragons are my favorite. It's Frank, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. So over the next few while, I'm probably going to be coming in and chatting a little bit more about this stuff. Hey, Julie. Janine, I'll do a chat on Thursday on this and shout you out. Yeah, by all means. Oh, okay. Good night in the upside down, me Julie. So, it's just food for thought. And if you can start becoming aware of your thoughts via your internal dialogue, like sometimes I just sit now, and if I go, what's my next thought going to be? I don't have one. My brain's very quiet anyway, but I still do have thoughts that come in over my kind of internal dialogue. And so what might help is just bringing awareness to, was that a thought? Where did that come from? Is it positive? Is it negative? What is it creating a prison? Is this thought creating some kind of prison for me? Does this thought help me be limitless? Does this thought help me make different choices? Does it belong to me? Does it belong to somebody else? And what has my internal dialogue got to say about that? And is there a difference? And we will convene back here whenever the universe so aligns for part 2 of this conversation. Wrong emoji. Okay, well, thank you all for being with me this morning. Anybody got any questions or anything they want to add to the conversation? Eternal, yeah. I mean, we just go from one experience to the next, right? Nothing ever dies. It's been proven, energy doesn't die, it just changes. We're just changing. So even when our body gives up, we move to a different experience. You're only going to get one shot of this experience. Why would we bypass it? Why would we bypass this opportunity to help humanity become a better and better species? Hi, Mara. How are you? So, on that note, my pens. Have the most beautiful day of heaven and earth. I'm gonna make you aware. You can do what you want with it, but there is a Patreon space, and I haven't changed my prices in years because the cost of everything's going up. Um, but I'm not putting anything up. In fact, I'm going to be putting things down because I think everybody should have access to this. So there is a Patreon space where the first tier is like £11, and we do an energy read for the month, and then we do one-to-one dragon messages, and then we have like a group kind of support session at the end of the month. Tier 2 is like £22, and it is where we have a better and better tier. So this is all about the kind of physical body. We work with the energies of the month. We bring in the frequencies for the month that you can access for the whole month to support you. And then there is a program that we run through, which you can add into your daily life to help support the energies, support your body, which is somatics, EFT tapping, which I can't even tell you how much EFT will shift your reality if you're moving through something, and some breath work. I also talk in there about kind of vagus nerve resets and a lot about the physical body to, help us kind of be more human and aware of our physical human body. Then at £55, there is all that. Plus, you get a 30-minute one-on-one session with me. Sessions with me now are very much just about talking about where you are, where you want to be. And they're more kind of like coaching sessions, I suppose. And then the top tier is 8 to 8, and that's everything but a 1 hour one-on-one. So if anybody's interested, you can find me on Patreon with the same name, Joanne Dunn. I am me, encouraging you to be you, but I reckon that's probably going to change again very soon. But anybody who's looking for support, anybody who just wants to be part of something, it isn't a spiritual place. It is a place of where we're growing together and talking together. It's a place of safety and community. Everybody is welcome. So thank you all for being here. Your time is the most precious thing you can ever give anyone. So thank you for spending your time here. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for still being on the journey. Thank you for wanting better and better for yourself, which in turn, when you have better and better for yourself, you have better and better for your life. You have better and better for the people round about you. And, we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. And that is what I do my best to do every day. So thank you for being here. If you're watching and it's not live, by all means, please pop comments in. I read them all. I reply to them all. I think if you're taking your time here, then I should also take my time to also listen and read what you have to say. It's important. Too many creators are just too busy with their lives, and so I don't monetize. I don't monetize this channel. That's why it's never pushed out. Maybe I'll start monetizing it. Because maybe more people need to hear it. Who knows? But I didn't monetize this channel to get money from anything, because I was just doing this for anybody who wanted to listen, Anyway, blah 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 blah. Be the best human you can be. Okay. I love you, and I'm gonna try and remember how to hang up again. Ooh, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna find it.